Undoubtedly, one of the most significant conversions of all time was Saul of Tarsus, a highly educated and staunch Pharisaical Jew and a Hebrew of Hebrews. Though he would be the last person ever imagined to convert to Christianity, his dramatic encounter with the living Lord Jesus Christ on the road to Damascus turned him from persecutor to pastor, and from mass murderer to mass missionary. In fact, it is highly significant that in Paul's epistles and letters, he writes primarily as a missionary and only secondarily as a theologian. Indeed, gospel truth permeates everything Paul ever wrote. The gospel was at the center of his thoughts at all times, so much so that he occasionally even referred to it as my gospel. His chief desire and goal was to win as many as possible to Christ, and everything he did was for the sake of the gospel. It's not surprising then that virtually every one of Paul's New Testament epistles defends and clarifies some crucial point of doctrine relevant to the gospel message. This is true all the way from the highly influential book of Romans, even to his shortest epistle, his letter to Philemon. Paul's letter to Philemon is a private and personal note regarding Philemon's slave Onesimus. Onesimus had run away, met Paul, and had been converted. Paul then encouraged him to turn himself into Philemon, who had also been converted by Paul. "I appeal to you," writes Paul, "for my son Onesimus, who became my son while I was in chains. Formerly he was useless to you, but now he has become useful, both to you and to me. I am sending him who is my very heart back to you. Perhaps the reason he was separated from you for a little while was that you might have him back forever, no longer as a slave, but as a fellow man and as a dear brother in the Lord." After Paul completed the letter, Onesimus apparently first helped deliver Paul's epistle to the Colossians, and then took this private note to Philemon. Of course, Philemon had every legal right to kill Onesimus as a runaway slave, but Paul knew Onesimus was a changed person. He just had to convince Philemon. It is through this very appeal that Paul manages to paint a crystal clear picture of gospel truth, while exemplifying the Spirit of Christ through his own actions. He includes this plea, which perfectly epitomizes what Christ did for his people. "Receive him as you would me, but if he has wronged you or owes you anything, put that on my account." Thus, Paul illustrates in a very real and practical way the principles of imputation and vicarious atonement. As one scholar rightly concludes, we do not know the outcome of this appeal, but the inclusion of this short and intimate letter in the canon suggests that it was successful. It reveals how the Christian faith breaks down what seems to be insurmountable social walls.